Amazing. Thank you so much for that amazing intro. Hey, everybody. All right, how's it going? I'm super excited to be here today to tell you about Alchemy and also walk through an example project of something you can build with Alchemy. Today we're going to be talking about a token staking project for your NFT collection. So today we're actually going to walk through spinning up the NFT collection, an ERC20 token on Ethereum, and then also how do you build this project, the smart contract project, to allow staking so that people who are collecting your NFTs, people who are in your community, can earn rewards. So hopefully throughout all of this, you'll kind of see a little bit of how Alchemy plays a role in your Web3 development stack. So quick show of hands, how many of you have heard of Alchemy before? Okay, cool, about half the room. How many of you have actually used Alchemy to deploy something or interact with the blockchain? Okay, about a third. Awesome. All right, thank you. So let's get started. Today, I'm Albert Hu. I am a developer advocate at Alchemy. And for people who want to check out that rap, my handle is thatguyintech. You can find me on all socials at thatguyintech. So if you want to chat with me on Telegram or Instagram or TikTok, I haven't made any TikToks really, but I have an account there. You can follow me. Awesome, so quick overview about Alchemy first. We are the Web3 development platform. We're the most powerful set of Web3 development tools to build and scale your decentralized applications with ease. So actually, some of our customers are listed down here. Maker, one of the oldest DeFi protocols. Meta is actually using us to power a lot of their Instagram integrations, things like that. OpenSea is one of the biggest NFT marketplaces, and Rainbow is a very popular Ethereum wallet. So all of them use various APIs that Alchemy has to make sure that their experience can scale to all of the users that they have. So the way that we work is essentially we're a layer on top of a lot of these blockchains that you see down here. We support most of the EVM blockchains as well as Solana that came out pretty recently, so pretty excited to do more projects on that too. A-Star, Starknet as well. And what we do is we provide these APIs for you to read and write information to blockchains so that you can build these example use cases like NFTs, DeFi, wallets, gaming, infra and tooling, and also even Web 2 integrations. So the core idea is you have simple tools. You can build something simple but still useful, like a mud shack. But with some really advanced tools like cranes or tractors, you can build some really amazing cities. And the way that we've been thinking about the company and the platform and what we're trying to build is with every single technological revolution we've seen in the past 50 years, starting with the personal computer, the innovation is at this protocol layer, right? With the computer, you have things, the components that make the computer that then allow us to program instructions into the computer so that it can do useful things for us. It can calculate numbers for us. But the real value that impacts billions of people around the world happens at the application layer when developers are able to abstract away the protocol layer and build some really cool applications. And the companies and the projects that are building that infrastructure are able to empower that next generation of developers. So the same way that Apple and Microsoft did that for the personal computer, the same way that AWS and Google and Microsoft Azure, these cloud computing services, are abstracting away internet protocols, that's what we're trying to do for all the blockchain protocols and layer ones. So an example of how Alchemy helps you communicate with blockchains. For users need nodes to connect to chains. And here's an example of what you'll experience. Oh, sorry, if we could play this video here. Awesome, okay, so I think that's, should be playing. The title's still there, but okay. Oh, can you click the play button in the middle? Yeah, there we go. Oh, sorry, could you mute that too? If you scroll over at the bottom, there's a microphone, and then you can mute that. Sorry about that, I didn't mean to put that sound there. Okay, cool. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to the dashboard. This is what you'll experience when you log into your Alchemy dashboard. You can see I have a lot of different applications that I've created across different blockchains, and there's also some high-level stats on the medium responses for the APIs. I'm going over here to create a brand new application and a new API key. So you put in the name, the description of the app, which blockchain you want to use. So I'm actually going to stick with Ethereum here. And then I'm going to go to a test network go release so that I can use fake ETH for now. So I create the app. It pops up at the bottom of this table. You can see Type A Blockchain Week demo app. And then over here, there's a convenience button. You can view the API key and URL. You can also click in to the actual dashboard for the app. And this is where we'll see stats about how successful your requests are over time. So you'll see this in a bit. We're going to go into MetaMask, and we're actually going to create a custom connection to the Goerli test network. So this is something you'll want to do if you want to increase the reliability, increase the speed of your transactions, whether you're minting NFTs or interacting with various decentralized applications. So I'm just going in here. I struggled a little bit to find the right settings page, so give it a second. But this is where you can customize all of your networks in case you want to use different RPC providers. And so right here, we're starting an Alchemy Goerli connection. I'm going back here to grab the RPC URL. And then we need the chain ID for Goerli. So I'm just Googling that real quick. It turns out it's 5. And then put in 5. The currency symbol that we want to show up in MetaMask is ETH. And right now, I'm already logged into an account that has some testnet ETH, 0.4763 ETH. And then also, you can see in the browser extension that I'm connected to Alchemy Goerli. So this is how, as a user, you might connect with Alchemy. Under the hood, actually, a lot of decentralized applications are already sending requests. But this is what you would see on the developer dashboard. You'll see the success rate, the number of requests, how long it took. And then we can see also, if we send some testnet ETH to another account that I have, let's say 0.01 ETH, and then we send off that transaction. It's pending right now. It'll be validated and included pretty soon. We can refresh the dashboard, and you can see the requests went up. And also, we have this ETH send raw transaction JSON request that shows up in the dashboard. You can see all these very useful stats on how fast the request was, whether or not it was successful, and you can use Alchemy to kind of debug your application. So, the clicker might not be working. Oh, there we go, okay. Sweet, so you can see users are using the nodes even on a daily basis, but as a developer, as you're building your applications, you'll also need to interface with the blockchain, whether it's deploying a smart contract or reading data off the blockchain. And so that brings us to our actual application. This is what we're going to be building today. Now, I wanted to make sure that this was not something, you can code the thing in the project in your own time. So I will show you the link to the project in a bit. For now, what I'm going to do is talk about the entire architecture of the project, from the front end to the smart contracts, all the different contracts, so that way you know how everything fits together, and then you can, on your own time, piece everything together. So this contract, this front end, it's a very basic web application, has about 3 sections. The top section is all of the rewards that you can claim as the end user. You've staked your NFTs for a while, and you're earning rewards for this. You're earning coins. So we have Type A Blockchain Week coins. And then over here, the current balance, that's how many coins I have in my wallet right now. And then the claimable rewards is how many rewards I have not taken out of the contract yet, but I've earned over time. And then in the middle section, here we have the staked NFTs. So these are the NFTs that I'm currently deposited in the smart contract. I'm setting it there, I'm not touching it, so that I can earn the rewards. And then whichever NFTs that I own that are unstaked. So that's the entire front end. And let's see, actually, okay, yeah. So what we're gonna be doing is 2 parts: deploy the smart contracts, and then we're also on the front end going to fetch the NFT metadata so that you can build that front end that you saw earlier. Now, this is the GitHub repo. It's live right now. If you want to poke around the code while I'm talking through it, you're welcome to. Just go to GitHub and then look up thatguyintech/Type A Blockchain Week, and then you should be able to see, you can download the code, there are commands to run, things like that. And there are a couple of contracts. So for people who are trying to poke around at the repo, you can look at those 3 contracts. This is also in the README. And then those 2 commands will run, and you'll see an example of how you interact with the smart contracts. Cool. So at a high level, this is the first contract I want to talk about. Quick show of hands. How many of you are familiar with what ERC20 means? Or you've seen it around? Okay, cool. Yeah, about half. Nice. So for everybody else, this is basically a set of standards, the ERC standards. It's kind of like a discussion of sorts, so you can actually go online, you can participate in the iteration of some of these standards. But the ERC20 token standard has been around for a long time. It describes how you can build a fungible token. So these are coins that you can split into very, very, very small parts. So if the Ether, for example, Actually, Ether doesn't even follow the standard, but you can wrap it into the standard. But all the coins and the ICOs that you might have heard about throughout the years, they're all ERC20 tokens. So you can make your very own token with this standard. So that's what we're doing here today. And the main functions that I want to call out that the staker contract will need are the mint function, and that just prints new money, essentially. And then the transfer function, which allows you to then transfer from a certain bank wallet to reward your users. So that's the Taipei Blockchain Week coin. The contract itself is actually under 20 lines of code because we're able to leverage previous contracts that we've written. So for example, at the very top, we're using Solidity 0.8.9 version. And then we're importing the Open Zeppelin contracts, so ERC20 contract and the ownable contract. And then the main thing that we're customizing here, just for convenience for this project, is on line 12, we actually have a mint call. And so you can see the message.sender actually gets 1 million of these tokens from the moment that this contract is deployed. That way we act as the bank and we can actually give out these rewards to our NFT collectors. And then we have our second contract. This is the Taipei Blockchain Week NFT contract. So we have another standard, another interface that this contract actually implements. It's called the ERC 721 standard. So you'll see a lot of these two types of contracts floating around. So the three functions that I want to call out from this interface, from this contract, are the safe mint function, which is basically creating a new NFT and giving it to a particular wallet address. And then we have the approve function, which this one is very interesting. This one I think is probably the most complex concept, or just the thing that you don't want to miss when you're doing your staking contract. Is this approve function allows someone who owns a particular token ID to give access to the to address to manage on their behalf. So after I mint my NFT, I'm going to then give approval to the staker contract to manage the NFT for me. And this is actually something you end up doing with all the applications that you interact with on the internet. For example, if you go to OpenSea, you want to sell your NFT, the very first function call is actually an approve function call. And then you trust OpenSea's smart contracts to manage your NFTs safely and be able to list it and accept bids and all this kind of stuff. And then finally, of course, there's the transfer function. So after I've approved, then the staker contract will need to be able to call the transfer from function to transfer from my NFT, the NFT from my holding into the smart contract. So this one's a little bit longer, but not that much longer. Again, we have the same compiler version. We import a couple of different contracts from Open Zeppelin. And then the main thing here is in the constructor, I do just automatically mint 3 NFTs to my wallet address with that for loop and the safe mint call to message.sender. And then there's a base URI function that returns where I'm storing the metadata for my NFT. So metadata is a very important concept in NFTs because that's where you can store all the information about how rare is your NFT based on the attributes that it has, what's the image or the video file or the GIF or whatever it is. And then we have a safe mint function that automatically increments the token ID whenever a new NFT is minted. Now, in this contract, if you were building your own NFT collection, you can add all kinds of logic here about what's the max number of NFTs that can exist, or what's the price that people will have to pay when they mint. Right now, it's free, and only the owner of the contract can mint it. So you can customize things in this contract. Awesome. And this is the final contract that we'll need. This is the meat of it, the Taipei Blockchain Week staker contract. There are a bunch of functionality in here, but the main high-level functions are the available function, which tells you how many tokens are available to the end user, how many tokens have they earned as a result of their staking. And then the second function is the staking, so whatever token ID that user owns, they are allowed to stake that token, that NFT. And then, of course, after I stake, I want to be able to withdraw so that I can take it back later. And then I want to claim or redeem the available tokens. So this is just a small chunk of the staker contract. There's a lot more. You can explore it in the GitHub. But I want to showcase that in the constructor here, when we deploy our smart contract, we actually give a reference to all of the previous contracts and the wallet address that we had worked with. So we have the NFT address. That's the NFT collection smart contract. We have the reward token address. That's the ERC20 token smart contract, where the address where we deployed it. And then we have the reward wallet address. That's the bank wallet that has 1 million tokens in it. And then we also have the reward rate, and that's stored as the reward per token per minute. So basically, in our smart contract, every single minute, if you deploy this with a reward rate of 10 tokens, then every single minute your users will get 10 tokens per staked NFT. So there's some more logic in there you can plug around in the GitHub. But this is kind of about how it all completes together. So we have the wallet, we have the coin, we have the NFT, we have the staking contract, and they all live on the blockchain. So in our example project, we are deploying to the Ethereum Goerli test network. You can deploy to other blockchains as well, but they all of these smart contracts live there. So we deploy it, we publish it, we save it there, and then now it's like free out in the open. Other people can interact with it if they want to. And then we have, for convenience for our end users, a website. And this is our decentralized application. And in this decentralized application, that's where we'll have the buttons that we saw a little bit earlier, the buttons, the NFT view. You can mint, you can redeem, you can stake, and you can withdraw your NFTs. So quick interlude, where does Alchemy help you with all of this? So when you're actually deploying the smart contract, and you'll see this in the GitHub repo, in the hard hat config, when you're deploying your smart contracts, you'll actually use Alchemy to make that connection to the blockchain, and then you'll see that on your dashboard, all the requests that you made to the blockchain to deploy your contracts. We also have a connection right here between the website and the blockchain. This is how it's able to read the ownership, who has which NFT, what is the metadata of the NFT, what is the image that we should load. And then of course we have the users who are connecting via their wallets, via MetaMask or whatever wallet they're using, and that's also an Alchemy connection. So we really try to help with the entire stack of your development to provide you with really reliable, really high quality connection to the blockchain. Awesome. And so for the front-end component, this is the Alchemy SDK. This is something that you can look up. It's the easiest way to connect to the blockchain with JavaScript code. It's a JavaScript SDK. Software development kit. Basically, it's a wrapper around all of the API calls that we have. So if you go to alchemy.com/SDK, or if you just npm install Alchemy SDK, you'll be able to get access to this toolkit. So here are some example calls. You can see, for example, line 9. This is one that we use in our front-end web application because it boils down all of this hard work that you need to do to understand NFT information into one single line of code. So you can call alchemy.nft.getNFTs for owner, pass in a wallet address, whether it's a ENS domain or it's just the long 0x string. And you can get all the information about NFTs. It'll have the metadata, it'll have the ownership, it'll have the collection information, all of that kind of stuff. So this is where we have our final completed application. Yeah, if you could play that for me, please. Thank you. And right on the top, again, we have the 10 coins. And so what ends up happening for the end user is when you click on the Claim Rewards button, that actually issues a transaction via the Alchemy SDK. It starts the MetaMask modal so that the user can confirm the transaction. And then we wait for this transaction to be mined. And this is going through the Alchemy API. And then once it's mined, we update our front-end view to show that the user has claimed 40 tokens. And then in the next slide, please. Yeah, this one's also a video. In this video, this is where we'll also stake our NFTs. So we have some remaining unstaked NFTs here. Thank you. And again, this is a button, but this calls that stake function on the smart contract via the Alchemy SDK. And then we'll pop up the MetaMask modal. We'll confirm this transaction as the end user. And then after this transaction is mined, we'll update that front end, have it show that the new staked NFTs is both Type A Blockchain Week NFT 0 and NFT number 1. Awesome. And the next slide, please. Oh yeah, just showing that we have no more unstaked NFTs. Cool. And then the final thing that I'll wrap up with, so that was the entire application. So if you go to the GitHub, you're installing deploying the smart contracts, you can play around with the front end, check out the Alchemy SDK. The final thing that I'll leave with is Alchemy University. So university.alchemy.com, this is something we've been working on very hard to provide a one-stop hub for everything that you'll need to know about blockchain development. So this is what it looks like. Sorry, last video to play. It's a pretty awesome site. We have a couple of different experiences that you can have. This is where you can earn your Web3 degree. We have 3 different experiences. The first one is coding basics. So for people who want to brush up on their JavaScript fundamentals, we have this experience. And then we have the Web3 Developer Bootcamp. This is a roughly 7-week experience. It's asynchronous, so you can go at your own pace, but it takes about 7 weeks of dedicated time. And then also we have the Road to Web3 project-based tutorials. So if you want to do more things like the token staking contract project, full stack tutorials, you can go to Road to Web3. So all you have to do is go to the site, sign up so that we can know how to contact you and what you're interested in, this kind of stuff. And then you'll be able to get access to the platform. So I just want to show you the platform real quick. I'm logging into my account. And then this is a really beautiful platform that we've developed so that you can actually write code directly in the browser. You don't have to install a lot of stuff, debug the dependencies, these kinds of things. We have a lot of fundamental information about how blockchains work, how to get into smart contract basics, Solidity programming language, and all of that kind of stuff. Awesome. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you learned a little bit about what Alchemy does and how you can use it to build your own Web3 projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Albert. These tools are going to be so helpful. I remember when I was tinkering around with all the Web3 stuff, all the wallets and protocols, and it's just it's a pain in the ass sometimes. So having all that tool is really gonna, make your life easier. Okay, so I'll let you guys take a breather. Let's take a 10-minute break, and then we'll come back. The next session, sorry.
We're also gonna play a very special video from Albert in a second for your entertainment.
The way that things have been, the way that things have been,
Albert is also a rapper, in case you didn't know.
Don't you tell me what you think that I can be. I'm the one at the safe, I'm the master of.
I was 23, drank a lot of beers, and I built an app for GREs. Chatted stocks with my peers like my homie Steez. I was coding, I was slowly just. When I first heard about a cryptocurrency, I was 2 years out of college. I was 23, drank a lot of beers, and I built an app for GREs. Chatted stocks with my peers like my homie Steez. I was coding, I was slowly just biding my time. My true passion lay in writing and recording these rhymes. I'd made a couple music videos in the past life. Insane how I started chasing money, letting dreams die. That's when I dug down Satoshi's Naka rabbit hole. Hungry for some knowledge about crypto like an animal. Using all my college fundamentals to attack it all. Learning lessons, mining coins like I'm collecting Dragon Ball. Solidity and meetups, I was new to the scene. But ability to keep up is a skill that is key. Once I started teaching Bitcoin, I knew it's meant to be. I'm a rapping software engineer, my name is LB. Metacobin's building Momo, jackpot, Texas Hold'em. Bought some ETH, bought a Beeple. Now he wants a meta modus operandi for these equal open borders. And I'll be creating in this new world order. When I first heard about a cryptocurrency, I was 2 years out of college.
You can follow Albert on Twitter, thatguyintech.eth.
Thanks for that feature.